The vampire is universal because the vampire functioned in pre-scientific society to explain some important phenomena. The very first vampire, that Lamia in North Africa, was part of a type of vampire that was used to explain what today we call crib death. You put your child your infant to sleep. He's healthy. You come find him in the morning and he's dead and appears to be drained of blood, pale. And for a long, long time, we didn't know what crib death was all about. It's only in our lifetime that we have been able to explain crib death physically as a medical condition. But the vampire was used, the vampire who went out at night and sucked the blood of babies. It's the cause of what we call crib death. And then the vampire became the explanation of inopportune death. If you died out of season when you weren't supposed to, it was because of vampirism. And that a person who died away from the village, who died by accident, who died before from some other cause in old age, would be a person who would come back as a vampire. That in part dealt with what today we call grief work, and how you deal with the deceased who have not finished their relationship with you before they pass over. So there are all kinds of functions that the vampire served, and that's why it became an almost universal. It's not a universal character. There are traditional societies without the vampire, but it has another character that serves the purpose. In our own day, the vampire is an object of entertainment, and that's what has so universal in the 21st century. But the vampire as a character is a very important part of teenage angst and solving the problem of the teenager becoming a adult. That the teenagers are filled with anxiety. They're searching for a sexual identity. They feel they are immortal. And the vampire just fits right into that in helping the teenager get through these problems.
Now, I will say, though, there are people in the current day who take vampirism very seriously and practice it, as I understand, as a lifestyle. I think of one person who's been on our programs many times, who has done a lot of work in this area, is Michelle Belanger. And,
I love Michelle.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome. And I've known her for years, and she's probably been on the shows 10 or 15 times. I mean, she's great. It really is a thing for some people. They consider themselves vampires of a sort, correct?
Oh, very much. There are a group of people who emerge really in the 1970s and 80s, just as serious vampire studies are happening, who consider themselves to be real vampires. And we don't know how many there are. Most of them are like Michelle, who consider the vampirism to be a psychic occurrence, the passing of energy as opposed to blood. There are a few that are into blood drinking. I met a few of them at the height of the real vampire craze, so to speak. The ones who were hangers-on, who wanted to be vampires, the ones have kind of fallen away and left this core of real vampires today. There are a few, and it again, this for them, vampire serves a very real social function, a very real way of dealing with their relationships with other people and the ups and downs of their body energy and the like. It works for them, but they are a very small group, relatively speaking.